Mama.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Do you want to read the Bible? Okay. People didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. He stole their money. Zacchaeus, he wanted to see Jesus too. Do you want to see Jesus? Yeah. Do you see him in the tree? Who's this? Jesus? Does Jesus love Zacchaeus? He does so much. Does Jesus love you? Yes, he does. Yeah, we're gonna go to the park. Yeah. Good morning, you guys. Welcome to another vlog. It's been a very eventful morning already. I made my first loaf of bread. Crazy, I'm on a bread making journey now. I've just been so intimidated to start, and obviously I'm starting off really easy, but wanting to like learn. So I feel like I already have things I learned and that I want to improve and that I want to try again. So I'm happy that I've actually dipped my toes in and now I can like learn, because that was just so intimidating to start. Made a loaf of bread. We enjoyed couple slices of it this morning. Made myself a coffee, and then I'm going to a mommy meetup that's through our church, and we're going to the park with a bunch of kids. I don't know anyone that's going. I invited my friend and her son, so hopefully they'll be there. Just branching out, trying to make more mom friends. Obviously it's something that I have definitely wanted, but I've also been putting in a lot more effort this year. I've been able to meet a lot of really amazing new mom friends, and I've loved that. Anyways, I'm branching out again. We're getting out of the house. He's gonna go play with some new kiddos, and I'm gonna meet some new moms, and hopefully it goes well. We're done at the park. I barely got to talk to anyone, honestly, because it's okay. You just had an entire banana. You're fine. He's just at the stage where he just is everywhere and exploring everything, so I just have to be his shadow the whole time, which is fine. But if you're going for multi-purpose of trying to meet people and get Elliot some playtime, it wasn't entirely what I was hoping for. But that's okay. We got out of the house. We tried it. I'm still glad I went. It just wasn't, I wasn't able to meet really anybody, but I was able to like chat with my friend a little bit. We'll see what we get up to once we're back home. Wasn't able to finish my coffee or really hardly drink any of it this morning. We're drinking it now in the afternoon. I wanted to do a little bit of a pregnancy update. I've been processing this information for a while. I'm not going to share everything. There's still things that I want to like kind of keep to myself, but there's also been stuff that has been very challenging mentally for me to walk through. This pregnancy journey has just been very different. I wouldn't say that there weren't any challenges with Elliot's, because there definitely was, but this has just had new challenges and harder challenges in some regards. But at my anatomy scan, I was diagnosed with a complete placenta previa, which means my placenta is covering my cervix entirely. That is an automatic C-section if the placenta doesn't move. Also can create a lot of other complications in the pregnancy. I could have random bouts of bleeding. As I get further along, there's just a lot more worries and concerns with the placenta being in that placement. And so I would have to have like an early C-section. So I've just been processing that, because that's not what I want. And I've been praying that the Lord would move the placenta as far away from my cervix as possible, because I do want to try and have like a redeeming birth with this baby. I had a very crazy, wild, traumatic birth with Elliot. It was really just challenging physically and mentally, because it was a very rapid labor, which I had never heard of or prepared for. And I just wasn't mentally, physically prepared to handle what happened to me and to my body. It was a lot to process. And I've just been praying so much that this time around it could be a redeeming birth, that I could be more mentally prepared for that to potentially happen again, since there is a very high chance that I would have another very fast, potentially even faster than Elliot's, which is wild to even think about, fast labor. There's so many things that I would have done differently if I knew it was going to be that fast. And so I've been wanting to prepare myself, like practically, spiritually, mentally, for something even faster, and for it not to just completely swallow me up and run me over. Like I want to be ready for it. And so I've been preparing for that, and then this news completely threw me off. The potential loss of that like redeeming factor has been really tough and challenging to process, because I really desire to have a redeeming birth, to not have to have a C-section. I'm not against C-sections. I'm thankful for them. I'm extremely thankful for them, but I want it to be a last ditch effort. If there's nothing else that I could do, that's available. But if I continue to have a placenta previa, it's automatic C-section, because you can't deliver the baby through the placenta, and there's just so much that could go wrong. As I've just been like reading and praying, asking the Lord for a certain desire of my heart, but also trusting in his plan and trusting in his just purpose, right? For me, is that I just care that me and my baby are safe in whatever way that ends up happening. I just pray that he's going to be there with me the entire way and the entire process through that all. And I don't know what that's going to look like. And I just have to continually trust, because there's really nothing that I can do. I'm on pelvic rest. I'm not supposed to lift a lot of things, which is impossible being a stay-at-home mom with a toddler. I'm lifting him all day. And it is really hard for me just in general to rest. I'm not a person that enjoys rest very often. Having to force myself to rest more has been hard. I won't really find out if anything's shifted until my 28-week scan, because now I have to have another scan, which was also not really what I wanted. There's just a lot of stuff that came up that was just not really what I wanted, and some other things that I'm not gonna touch on. If you would like to be praying for me, is one, my desire is that I could have a vaginal delivery. So my desire would be to pray that the placenta shifts. But on top of that, I want to just be completely trusting in the Lord's process and in the Lord's plan for me and the birth of this baby, and that I have peace of mind, whatever that plan ends up looking like. So I'm praying for my desires, and I'm also praying for peace if those desires aren't met. I feel like I'm in a lot better space now than I was even just last week. The thing that really matters is that my baby is safe. The thing that really matters is that I'm trusting the Lord and finding my peace and my assurance in him. Not the news I want to hear, certainly not the news I want to hear, but I'm still remaining very hopeful. God still has a plan that I don't see, and so I'm trusting in that. If you have any encouragement for me, if you have any words of wisdom, I'd love to hear it. My heart kind of needs that right now. Anyways, that's the pregnancy update. I think I am going to read some of my book. I don't think I have actually mentioned this in a vlog before, or maybe I did when I was pregnant with Elliot. I can't remember. But my friend Heather wrote this book called Expectant, Cultivating a Vision for Christ-Centered Pregnancy. And I read this when I was pregnant with Elliot, and it was such an encouragement to me. So I'm reading it again, and it's already been a very encouraging thing for me to read, especially after getting that diagnosis. But I'm also going to be gifting this to a couple friends of mine who are also pregnant. But I did want to mention it because if you're pregnant and you're looking for a very Christ-filled pregnancy book, I love this book. I love Heather, and I admire her so much. I will leave this linked in the description, but I'm gonna read a little bit of this. I'm gonna read a chapter while Elliot's still napping. Okay. Love to start it off by joking. Alright, I wanted to share this with you. There's some of you guys that will relate, but I was having a very fleshly struggle last night. So yesterday was my birthday, and Nick made us a steak dinner. It ended up being a lot later of a dinner, just his work schedule, and the meal took longer, and anyways, it ended up being a late meal. I was already very, very tired. I just get completely exhausted every single day. One, being pregnant, and then taking care of a very active toddler. I think it was probably around 10:30 when we were done with our meal and done with talking, because we ended up chatting about some stuff. I had this very fleshly selfishness pop up where, one, it was my birthday, 2, I'm pregnant, 3, I was just completely exhausted from the day's demands in motherhood. I wanted him to continue to serve me, because I think I had mentioned, I'm like, do you have time to do the dishes? Because the kitchen was just chaotic. Me cooking versus Nick cooking is a very different kitchen environment. I'm a clean as I go type of chef, and Nick is everything sprawled out, nothing put away. He's in it, right? He doesn't stop to put things away. Big mess, which is always kind of a stressor on me anyways. And I knew I wanted to vlog the next morning and make bread, and I wanted to have a clean kitchen to wake up to. And so I was asking him if he was gonna clean up, if he was gonna do the dishes, because I just wanted to go to bed. Truly just had so many justifications in my mind of why I deserved to be served. It's a rhyme, but it's so unhelpful. It's so unbiblical, because we're called to be servants. And I felt that conviction. Nick is working really hard at his new job. He had a bunch of homework that he needed to do, and because everything had taken so long, he was getting started on the homework a lot later. And I was just like, you know what, Kendra, just do a few dishes, help him out, so the entire burden is not on him. So I was cleaning up the kitchen. As I was cleaning, I was just kind of overwhelmed by the Lord and having this desire to actually want to just completely do everything and just serve. I think it's just because initially I just said yes to helping. As I was in it, I became more willing to serve even more. I ended up doing the dishes and cleaning, and I felt so good about it. Even though I was still tired, I wasn't to the point where I was unable to serve, and he was super appreciative of it. It gave him more time to be able to do the things that he needed to get done last night, and he still had a late night. I just want to encourage those out there that I struggle with this a lot because I have those selfish moments, especially in pregnancy, and especially like as a stay-at-home mom who throughout the day there's just a lot of tasks that get done. Pregnancy is a big feat. It's emotional, it's physical, it's mental, it's spiritual. Like there's a lot that goes into making a baby inside your body. But I feel like we as women can use that so easily as an excuse not to serve because we want to be served. When we deny ourselves, like the Bible says, and we take up our cross, we be like Christ to others, that is more fulfilling to us than actually being served in that way. Like, don't get me wrong, I love when Nick helps out and will help me if I'm just like incredibly overwhelmed. But there are moments when we just want to give into that, like, I want to be served. I feel so much better going to bed, not putting more burden on my husband. And I woke up to a clean kitchen so that I could do the things that I wanted to do this morning. And then Nick was able to do the things he needed to do last night. So I don't know if that's encouraging to you guys. I just know that I struggle with that, and I need that reminder that I don't want to have pregnancy and being a stay-at-home mom be like my crutch to be very selfish and only look out for my own needs and not look out for my husband's needs. And I think it's even easier. This is one last thing because I just thought of it. It's even easier for us to justify not serving our husbands because we've been serving our children all day long, which is a great thing, right? God sees that service. It is glorifying to him that we serve our children, but we should also desire to serve and love our husband just as much. That union and that love is just as important. I want my heart attitude to be loving and serving of Nick even when I'm tired because I love him and I care about him. That's just something that I kind of struggled with and fought with last night, and thought that maybe that could be something encouraging to you guys that are maybe also stay-at-home moms and have had the inkling to want to rely on being, you know, a little bit more selfish. It's actually more fulfilling to serve. But anyways, I'm cooking up some lunch. I think Elliot's waking up, so I'm probably gonna get to like a little bit of cleaning. I need to vacuum. I know this has been a very chatty vlog, but hopefully it's also encouraging.